Hypnosis Max Speed Lunala, a Pokemon that was actually able to get second place at the 2022 World Championship. It didn't have any setup that allows Hypnosis to be more accurate, it just had Hypnosis. But I thought we would try out a team that is able to make that Hypnosis more accurate, utilizing Gravity Sableye and a different take on Lunala Groudon. Hello internet, this is going to be a Gravity team that features Groudon and Lunala, and it's more of a fun team. Let's break it down. First, we had the Sableye with the safety goggles and Prankster Fretability with Terra Normal as the defensive typing with Gravity, Quash, Encore, and Disable. Overall, Sableye is a very interesting Pokemon. It's not used as Grimmsnarl, mainly because Grimmsnarl has a bit better stats across the board alongside a better defensive typing, but the Ghost typing initially is pretty cool because of the fact that you're just immune to Fake Out naturally, so you can pretty much just get your Prankster move out there. And the safety goggles item is going to be utilized. I thought about Mental Herb as well on the Sableye. There's a lot of items I considered, but then as the team progressed, I did not be able to use some of them, such as the Focus Sash on the Hisuian Lilligant that came into play later. So it's between Mental Herb and safety goggles. I felt like it was more likely that I want to Encore Disable into a situation where there's an Amoonguss on the field. So safety goggles is going to be the play of choice over the Mental Herb. Prankster does give priority to all of the Sableye moves that we're going to be utilizing here, and the Terra Normal defensive typing is just an extra measure for Calyx Shadow Rider in case I need it. Gravity is going to be the main concept of the team. Gravity is able to bring flying types and Pokemon with the ability to levitate down to the ground and make them susceptible to the ground type moves, especially from the Groudon, which is important, but also increases accuracy by 1.67, which is pretty nice because a lot of the moves we are utilizing are pretty inaccurate, especially the Groudon and the Lunala, so that Gravity is able to make those moves way more accurate and more likely or guaranteed to hit in some cases, which is very nice. We have Quash, which is going to be able to slow down the opponent and make them move last, which is important for Lunala and Groudon for setup. And then Encore Disable. I did debate about having like an attacking move like Foul Play, Sucker Punch, or maybe Shadow Sneak, but I thought, okay, there are some situations like against Specs, Miraidon, or just setup Pokemon in general that I feel like Encore Disable would be pretty useful to have. So even though I would like to break a Focus Sash on some Pokemon or Foul Play getting some chip damage, especially into like a Calyx Ice Rider for instance, I thought Encore Disable just has so many utilizations that I can just help support, because since Sableye can't really do much, it's more of a Prankster support mod, you're relying on the partner to put in the damage output. The EV spread, I just put max special defense. Normally I would probably put it into physical defense to take on Rapid Strike or Shifu, but since you do have the Groudon that sets up the Sun as well as 2/3 water resist, I don't really count Lilligant as a water resist, it is able to take the certain strikes that way, so going with max special defense to be able to tank attacks specifically from Calyx Shadow Rider and other threats as well. Next Pokemon we have is the Lunala with the Power Herb, Shadow Shield for the ability with Terra Fairy as the defensive type with Moongeist Beam, Meteor Beam, Hypnosis, and Protect, with max special attack and max speed with the remainder into HP. This spread has actually been used before and was able to get second place at the World Championship by a player known as Casty. And yes, Hypnosis is a move Lunala gets, and it was pretty important back in the Dynamax format because Sleep was just so broken, being able to stall out Dynamax turns from an opponent. So it can be pretty strong here, and with Gravity support from the Sableye, we're going to be utilizing it because it's a more fun, different approach to Lunala Groudon. And I thought, you know what, having accurate Meteor Beams, having accurate Hypnosis, it can really disrupt opponents. I think it could be a fun time. So that's what we're going to be trying out today. The Hypnosis is more accurate with the Gravity setup. Not guaranteed, but it's a pretty high chance to hit with the Hypnosis under Gravity. So yeah, we'll take it. Meteor Beam is able to do a ton of damage across the board, raising the Lunala special attack by 1 point, and then dishing out this really strong rock type move to hit Incineroar, which is nice. And you know, it can miss sometimes, so Gravity just makes sure it never misses, which I gladly appreciate. Otherwise, Moongeist Beam for your ghost coverage attack, and then Protect to keep itself around, because you want to protect, maybe set up the Gravity, and then you can go for like Encore, Disable, or Quash to help set up that Hypnosis onto the really big threat. And again, max speed because it can catch opponents off guard and it dish out a ton of damage, and having the faster mom with Sleep can be a very big thing on this Lunala set. Next Pokemon we have is the Choice Band Groudon with the Terra Fire and the Drought ability, setting up the Sun with Precipice Blades, High Horsepower, Heat Crash, and Fire Punch. Overall, I knew that if I was going a Gravity team, I'm going with Choice Band Groudon. I want to do as much damage as possible because you want to utilize the turns of sleep very wisely, because it is a random chance between them having 1 to 3 turns of not being able to move. So you really want to do as much damage as you possibly can straight up. So Choice Band Groudon just made so much sense to me here. You have the Terra Fire as a defensive type because it's able to help out and increase the power of the Heat Crash and the Fire Punch, but also defensive type against the grass attacks and ice moves out there, especially against Alex Ice Rider. Overall, you have Precipice Blades and high horsepower. Precipice Blades a really strong ground type move, but very inaccurate with 85 accuracy, and then high horsepower, more of an accurate ground move, still can miss, but at least goes through wide guard, which is nice. Heat Crash is going to be the fire move. It's a really strong move based on weight differential, and Groudon's a pretty heavy Pokemon, but against Pokemon like Alex Ice Rider, which is able to tank it and not do as much damage, you have Fire Punch to cover it instead. Overall, it's just a max attack, max speed Groudon. I did debate about having a bit of slower Groudon for bulk, but in general, I feel like just utilize as much damage as you possibly can with the Groudon and be helpful. I think it could still go with a bulkier variant as well, but I wasn't sure like what the speed tier would be, so I just decided, hey, I'm just going to go for it, as much attack and speed as possible so I can outspeed potential threats with the Groudon and the Lunala and just dish out damage from there. Next Pokemon is going to be the Hisuian Lilligant with the Focus Sash, Chlorophyll for the ability with Terra Dark as the defensive typing. This helps out against Shadow Rider Calyx somewhat, but more importantly, the Encore from Whimsicott can be ignored. With close combat, Sleep Powder after you and Protect. And it's going max attack with an Adamant Nature, max speed, and 4 defense. Overall, with Hisuian Lilligant, the idea here was I wanted a fighting type. You have an extra backup if the Lunala isn't able to go for, let's say, the Hypnosis. You do have Sleep Powder accuracy. You could lead Sableye plus Lilligant if you don't want to risk Lunala and go for the Gravity plus the Sleep Powder, which is also another option. And then you have After You that can help support the Groudon, especially with the Chlorophyll in Sun, boosting this Lilligant speed, making it doubled. It's pretty nice. And then close combat damage is pretty great as well. The reason I'm not running a grass move is because I do have grass move on the Rillaboom already. I think that's good enough, and I think I like Protect because I'm not running Terra Ghost just in case I need the Terra Dark for Encore scenarios. So that's the reason why I have Protect here. And really the main damage is setting up for the Groudon anyway, so that's the main goal here, is just to do as much damage with your Groudon as possible as your sweeper. Next Pokemon we have is the Raging Bolt with the Life Orb and Photosynthesis for its ability, giving it a special attack booster alongside the Terra Electric, which is just a good defensive typing to get rid of the Dragon type weaknesses, but also powering up the electric moves. Overall, I think this Pokemon is absolutely absurd, especially with Thunderbolt and Thunderclaps boosted by the Photosynthesis. The Life Orb and the Terra Electric can do crazy amounts of damage. And then Draco Meteor with Life Orb and the Photosynthesis special attack, going to do a lot of damage, getting a nuke here. And then Protect to keep itself around. Raging Bolt is just an absurd Pokemon and is able to do a ton of damage across the board, with the Sun giving it a special attack Photosynthesis and the Life Orb boost on top of that, as well as Terra. Yeah, there is so much damage across the board. It's really hard to say. Needed a Pokemon to help out against Torn Urshifu, and Raging Bolt is just one of the perfect mons to help out because you get rid of the Rain Dance mons, and especially the Tornadus, and you threaten the Urshifu with Thunderclap. So yeah, that's the way it's going to help out, and it's just a good secondary attacker next to the Groudon in Sun. And overall, I just wanted a faster Raging Bolt because, again, I do want to just outspeed and threaten Pokemon if I have the ability to, and not rely on as many sleep turns as possible. So that's why I just decide, hey, I'm just going to go max special attack and max speed with a Moss Nature for maximum damage output. Final Pokemon is the Rillaboom with the Assault Vest and the Grassy Surge ability, with the Terra Fire as a defensive type with Wood Hammer, Grassy Glide, Fake Out, U-Turn. It's a pretty standard Rillaboom. There's nothing special about it. The EV spread is even simple too, just able to get an extra stat point off its attack, do a ton with the damage from the grassy terrain, boost up its grass type attacks, the special defense that you want to be able to tank special hits like Astral Barrage and the Miraidon's attacks in the grassy terrain because it's your pivot to Miraidon, and max HP as possible with the remainder in defense and speed. You don't really need it, but the idea of Rillaboom, which is pretty much that Grassy Surge, is really key here because Miraidon is a Pokemon, of course, with electric terrain, and electric terrain does prevent Pokemon that are on the field to be hit by sleep, which is pretty important because this team obviously is utilizing the Hypnosis Lunala, and we need Pokemon to go to sleep. So we need a way to get rid of electric terrain. This is the way I like it because I could lead something like Sableye Rillaboom, or I could lead Lunala Rillaboom, and then get into a position where, because the Rillaboom's slower than the Miraidon, I do get that Hypnosis opportunity. So that's why the Rillaboom's on this team is also able to help out against like bulky waters, Kyogre especially. So it's just able to do quite a bit there. So how to use the team overall, the team does focus on mainly getting that gravity setup. It's mainly going to be Sableye plus a partner. Usually Sableye Lunala is going to be one of your best leads of just going for the gravity hypnosis immediately if they have no way to stop it. If they have the Miraidon, you usually want to lead like Rillaboom Lunala or Rillaboom Sableye, get the gravity set up with the grassy terrain, you turn out, get into Lunala, and then start going for hypnosis that way. And sometimes you'll have leads like Sableye Lilligant, for instance, with the gravity sleep powder. But you also have like more offensive options. Of course, you do have the Groudon that can just lead with Rillaboom and dish out a ton of damage. Groudon Raging Bolt's pretty strong if you are pretty safe and outspeed your opponent's Pokemon. You can just go for immediate damage that way. You also have Groudon Lilligant, of course, with the After You plus Precipice Blades with Choice Band, able to do a ton of damage across the board. There's quite a few ways that you can utilize the team, as well as Fake Out Rillaboom plus Lunala, a Fake Out Rillaboom plus the Lilligant plus Lunala. There's a lot of things that you could do to just dish out a ton of damage across the board. Even Rillaboom Raging Bolt is nice into the Kyogre teams. With the general idea is just to set up that gravity, hypnosis the threats, and then do a ton of damage with Groudon and Raging Bolt. That's pretty much all I have to say. That's how the team performs. If you'd like to check out the details of the team, you can check them out down below in the description, and let me know in the comments what you think about gravity, because I think it's a really cool move in general, being able to hit the flying types and the Pokemon will levitate with ground type moves, which makes Groudon a more effective sweeper, which is unique. We see gravity teams usually pop up in double restricted format. One of the biggest examples I can think of is usually like Baz Anderson. He was very well known for using gravity stuff with the hypnosis or the grass whistle or sleep powders back in previous restricted formats. Let me know what you think about the strategy in the comments. Calyx, Ice Rider, Sinistra, Whimsicott, Porygon 2, Incineroar, and Kyogre. On the bright side, even though there is Kyogre Cali Ice, I think this should be doable. There's no terrain. I do like Lunala a lot with Sableye. Sableye plus Lunala seems pretty good here. And then who am I partnering with? I like Groudon a lot, of course. I must bring the Groudon. Is it going to be Raging Bolt? I don't think I could Terra Lunala. I don't think it's necessary. Is it Rillaboom back or Raging Bolt? They're both not bad here. I'd probably lean towards the Raging Bolts for more offense, but I mean, Lilligant's not too bad either because close combat's actually pretty good. But I think I'll go with Raging Bolt. I think the firepower that Raging Bolt provides is very nice. So let's see how this goes. Plan is, of course, to go for gravity, go for hypnosis, bait out a Terra potentially onto Lunala. We'll find out if it works. We'll find out if it works. Lead-wise, Whimsicott Kyogre. Okay. Interesting lead, for sure, as I do lead to Sableye plus to Lunala. I'm pretty comfortable going for a gravity and hypnosis immediately into the Kyogre. Yeah, there's not really too much. I could go Groudon here, but I don't think that's really necessary. I'm surprised I led Kyogre because I had Rillaboom plus Raging Bolt, but sure, I am going to go for gravity and hypnosis. I could go for Quash and just go for the blind hypnosis, but I'd rather have the consistency of the hypnosis immediately. Ooh, Worry Seed on the Whimsicott to get rid of my Shadow Shield on Lunala. But unless you're Scarf Kyogre, I don't think that changes anything. Are you Scarf Kyogre? Because I get the hypnosis off. Very nice, very nice. Oh, very good, very good, very good. Okay. Interesting spot. Do they have Encore? I feel like it's always going to be Tailwind, Moonblast. I don't know if we have Encore on this. I feel like I should just retreat out into like Raging Bolt Groudon combination. Yeah, I think so. I want the firepower. Or do I just attack here? I am a bit worried if they Tailwind and Wake Up turn 1. So you know what? I think I'll go Groudon, and I think I'll go out into Raging Bolt. And I'll switch out the Groudon to Sableye slot because of the threat of Moonblast into the Sableye. So I'll bring out the Raging Bolt, bring out the Groudon. They don't have Rain Dance on Whimsicott. I am going to be able to threaten the Kyogre with some pretty strong damage of Precipice Blades. Let's see. Bring out the Groudon. If they don't wake up, this is fantastic. If they wake up, it's kind of ugly, but still playable. But we'll see. All right, get the special attack boost. Kyogre stays asleep, which is beautiful. Also, the Whimsicott's slower, which is interesting. Oh, Trick Room. Okay, that explains it. I don't have Tailwind, which is kind of nice because I am threatening Thunderbolt here. Like, they don't have a good switch in for Thunderbolt Blades. And I kind of like the idea of going for Thunderbolt and Blades here. So it's Trick Room. Do they have Tailwind? Not exactly too sure. They shouldn't be able to knock out Groudon unless they have fake tears. I think I just go for attacks. I think I just go for Precipice Blades plus a Thunderbolt here. I go for a Worry Seed to get rid of my Photosynthesis, which is fine. Because this is still a Life Orb Thunderbolt. It's going to do a lot. How slow is this Kyogre? Okay, it's slow, but it takes the maximum amount of turns to sleep. I'm kind of surprised there's no Terra Grass or anything, but this is beautiful. I do get the knockout Kyogre, I think. So, yeah, that's a good amount of damage with the Thunderbolt. Would have one-shot if I did go for a Thunderclap with my Photosynthesis. Unless the Whimsicott was faster than my Raging Bolt, which maybe it was. But yeah, we are able to knock out the Kyogre, which is fantastic. And yeah, that's some pretty good damage. That's some pretty good damage. Calyx going to come in, but we do have to Terra Fire on our Groudon. I think my best play is just to swap out the Raging Bolt because Thunderclap can still be good for an endgame cleaner. I will go for the Terra Fire, just launch more Precipice Blades. Why not? Just do more damage. And then I can go for Encore on the Cali Ice. I could go for Disable. I could go for Quash. Depends on how much Blade does and maybe like the Terra type on the Cali Ice. But we are in a pretty decent position here. We're going to see a Terra come out for my opponent, which is surprising. Is this actually Terra Grass on the Cali Ice? Because I'm kind of surprised if you go for it here. Oh, they're expecting Terra Fire, Fire Punch. I have bad news for my opponent. I am Choice Banded Groudon. Also, that Whimsicott is very defensive. And I mean very defensive. Because Blaze was not a 2-shot. And I'm max attack Choice Band Groudon. I know it's a resist, but I feel like I should have done a bit more. I think that is a defensive Whimsicott. So, I don't think they know that. Helping Hand. Oh, wait. This is actually... No, it's not bad at all, actually. I am going to lose Sableye. It would have been bad, I guess, if they high horsepower read the Groudon. I don't know if that knocks out. I kind of doubt it. Glacial Lance is going to knock out the Sableye, so they did get me there. But this is a Choice Band Precipice Blades coming out into the Calyx Ice Rider. This is going to do a ton of damage. Oh, that's so much damage. And now we can go out into Raging Bolt. Yeah, we go out into Raging Bolt. Is there anything to fear? There's Gravity's ticking down. Trick Room is ticking down. I still think I'm okay in the long term. I'm kind of curious on if Sinisha's in the back and how this turns out, if it does, but I should be able to go for a Thunderclap, threaten the Cali Ice always, and just threaten Precipice Blades immediately. I'm kind of curious on the last Pokemon because, all right, they just attack, so it's over here. Because I get the Thunderclap KO on the Cali Ice. Cali Ice goes down. I get the Precipice Blades knockout into Whimsicott, and yeah, it's just a beautiful sequence. So we did get lucky with the 3 turns, but we are playing Gravity Hypnosis. That's how it goes sometimes. But U-turn. That's crazy. I thought they would maybe like try to go Sinisha if they had it. Protect. I don't know if they brought Sinisha against me. It could be Incineroar as the last. Surprised no Protect to try and go for attacks. Wait, they did have Sinisha. Yeah, they definitely could have. So a little bit shocking there. But then again, I guess they could threaten Rage Powder, but Trick Room's wearing off, which is kind of a problem. And my Lunala is still a huge threat to them. So I don't know if they could exactly win the game. But yeah, I felt like if they had any chance, that was probably going to be their chance. Does Hospitality activate? Because there was no Hospitality activate in the previous. Nope. I can just go for a... Realistically, I can just go for attacks, right? I can just drop a Draco Meteor into Sinisha and just Precipice Blades. I'm pretty sure I can. I'm pretty sure Lunala should be able to clean up this endgame no matter what, but we'll see. Because they Terra'd the... They already Terra'd, so I don't think I could lose. Yeah, because Moongeist Beam just cleans up, right? So I'm very shocked by the lead. The Worry Seed was definitely a cool tech, but I had a better tech. Okay, they go for Strength Sap. Doesn't change much. Sure, you get your healing back as well as a -1 attack, but yeah, Draco Meteor does knock out because it's a life for photosynthesis. Yep, goodbye Sinisha. So strong on this Raging Bolt, and then Precipice Blade should finish off this Whimsicott, which is pretty solid here. They go for U-turn. Okay, as Precipice Blades. Interesting mechanics. I did like the Worry Seed on the Whimsicott though. Worry Seed Trick and Whimsicott with Kali Ice actually does seem pretty cool. Getting rid of abilities. Photosynthesis I don't think was necessary, but getting rid of Shadow Shield was pretty neat of a play. It definitely could have worked out if I wasn't like Hypnosis on my Lunala and went for it immediately. So yeah, I was really hoping to catch a Kali Ice lead, but it just worked out so well. Like again, got the Groudys up, was able to get Groudon with Precipice Blades freely under their Trick Room, and yeah, like just able to do so much damage. Ho-Oh, Entei, Heatran, Venusaur, Chlorophyll, Shiftry, Groudon. I don't know why I said Chlorophyll, but like this is a full dedicated Sun team, which is funny because we have our own dedicated Sun team. So this will be interesting. We do have a Sableye, which I do love bring here. I like Sableye Lunala lead a lot. Do I want to bring Raging Bolt? I don't think I need it. I like Groudon. I like Lilligant. And I think I'm just going to go with that. I don't need Rillaboom in this matchup. It doesn't do well. Raging Bolt does have some things that it can do. But yeah, you know what's funny? The unironic thread is that Shiftry is actually a massive problem for my team. It's immune to Prankster. Yes, I do need Lilligant to handle it. Yeah. If I can get rid of the Shiftry, I'm in a good spot. It's actually funny that Shiftry is like the one mon here that's actually like so scary to handle because I don't have active Wash against it. No Encore Disable because Prankster inactive. Everything else is like, okay, I could beat with Groudon, Choice Band damage, or yeah, that's basically what I can do. Or Meteor Beam from Lunala. I can't do that against Shiftry though. Shiftry is actually one of the scariest Pokemon unironically on this team. So well, let's see how this goes. All right, what are you leading here? Oh, they like Groudon Venusaur, which is surprising. Okay. Because I lead Sableye or I lead my Sableye plus the Lunala. Sure. I have safety goggles on my Sableye, so I feel I'm pretty good here. I think I'm just going to go for a Gravity immediately, and I'm going to go for a Protect. Let's see what they do here, but I will just protect my Lunala. Super safe. To keep Shadow Shield. Gravity will be set up. All right, what's next on the agenda? Sleep Powder going to come out into Lunala. I can disable the Sleep Powder, which is nice with my Sableye, as long as it's not Mental Herb on the Venusaur. Precipice Blade's going to come out. Okay. Nice. No KO. So I go for Disable into the Venusaur, and I go for my Hypnosis into the Groudon. Very nice. Very nice. Yep, they tried to go for Sleep Powder, and I do get the Hypnosis off into the Groudon. Beautiful. Now I think I Encore the Venusaur, unless I'm mistaken by how it works, but I'm pretty sure I can Encore the Venusaur here, and I can go for a Moongeist Beam to chip away at the Groudon. I could Meteor Beam here, but I don't think Meteor Beam's worth it because I want to save the Meteor Beam for later. Especially like against the Shiftry, which I'll need one hit off against, but maybe it's not worth it because they knock off, right? So that's not worth it. We'll see. I think I will probably have to Terra Fire to Groudon, so if we can get rid of their Groudon, that's a major step closer to allowing me to Terra safely. Encore, yep, in the Venusaur, so it can't do anything this turn. It will be forced to switch out or struggle the next turn, which is beautiful, as we will get the Moongeist Beam into the Groudon. They wake up and KO the Sableye. I get a free switch to my own Groudon, and I click Precipice Blade, so I'm in a good spot. That's a crit. Okay, that's a Assault Vest. All right, and they stay asleep. Beautiful. All right, so I like the idea of, I guess we just Encore the Groudon, and I am going to Meteor Beam this time into Or should I just switch out Sableye? I think I should just switch out Sableye in my own Groudon and click Meteor Beam. I kind of don't mind that. Yeah, they're going to switch out to Venusaur because it was going to be forced to struggle. Heatran comes in. All right, this is beautiful because I get a Meteor Beam and Heatran that won't KO. But I will be set up for a double KO, I think, the next turn because I should be able to get a Precipice Blades off into Moongeist Beam. I'm pretty sure that's bulky Groudon if it took the Moongeist Beam that well. So I don't think it's going to be very fast. So I should be able to get a Precipice Blades plus a Moongeist Beam combo. All right, here is the Meteor Beam into the Heatran. I wanted to save the Sableye in case I want Quash for later. Nice. Nice. They're staying asleep, which is beautiful. Now we can go for Precipice Blades and we can go for Moongeist Beam. And we should be getting double knockout here. I was curious if Precipice Blades could knock out the Groudon in one shot, but I assume they have a lot of bulk investment. I don't think the crit matters in the long term just because I would have gone 2 Moongeist Beams off anyway, plus the Precipice Blades, which I think would have been enough. Heatran retreating, but we're under gravity, so they have no switch. That Ho-Oh? Yeah, there's a thing called gravity, and gravity is a beautiful move. It's a beautiful move because that Ho-Oh doesn't have its flying immunity now. So we get a Precipice Blades off into the Ho-Oh and the Groudon. Goodbye Ho-Oh, goodbye Groudon, and that will probably wrap it up here. I guess I do have accurate sleep powders, but I think I always Sunlight Phase, which is perfect because if the Venusaur's not timid, my Groudon outspeeds. And I think I always just Moongeist Beam and fire off Blades anyway. Yeah. By Terra. I guess it's the question. Do I need Terra? I think Terra is correct here. And Moongeist Beam into Venusaur. Yeah, battle gonna be forfeit. Because I Terra here because I don't know if... Does Venusaur still keep Earth Power? It does, right? But like, they need Earth Power specifically. But if it's Sleep Powder, like Sludge Bomb, Grass Move, Protect, and they don't have access to Earth Power. Also, Venusaur is really weak with Earth Power, so I don't even think it KOs Groudon one shot. So unless it has a boosted item, but that means Moongeist Beam should KO it after a Life Orb chip. So I think I would have been fine regardless in that spot, but yeah, really nice setup. No Shiftry, which I am surprised they didn't bring. Maybe they just believed, hey, it's not that good into my team, but the fact that I didn't have to deal with Shiftry was actually incredible for me. Incineroar, Calyrex Ice Rider, Miraidon, Iron Hands, Farigiraf, and Ogerpon Heartflame. All right, this is going to be one of the scarier matchups. We're forced to bring Lunala, Rillaboom, Sableye, and Groudon into this. Now, trying to debate, I think I always lead Lunala, Rillaboom here. I mean, Lunala, Rillaboom is very generally safe. I am really worried about the Heartflame Ogerpon, but otherwise I should be good to go. Basically, we want this Hypnosis if we can. And that's going to be a really important factor. The thing is, we could also like make the Miraidon want to leave the field, and the Miraidon leaves the field. I'm actually in a pretty decent spot because if the Miraidon leaves the field, then I have really good offensive pressure because Lunala or Groudon actually do a good amount of damage to my opponent's team. They don't exactly have the best switches. Terra wise, it's going to be pretty tough because I might need Terra in certain situations on Lunala. Could be the Groudon. I think Groudon's the most likely one I'm going to Terra, but there are definitely situations where I could definitely see myself going for Terra otherwise. Farigiraf's going to be tricky. The fact that they dropped Whimsicott actually makes this harder, I think, because dealing with Whimsicott would be so much easier than Giraffe, but this is going to probably lean more towards the Trick Room route. So we'll see what we have option-wise against it, but I am just going to go on the offense. Do I Meteor Beam turn 1 is the question. Do I double up the Farigiraf and take the KO immediately? I might. Miraidon plus Farigiraf. Yep. I wonder if Meteor Beam into U-turn KOs, because otherwise I am threatened by Volt Switch plus like other attacks. I do want to just draw out the Meteor Beam because I think getting the special attack boost is pretty good. And I don't think the Foul Play move is going to hurt. I think my Lunala has actually flawless attack, which is what stings here. But yeah, we're going to go for a Meteor Beam into the Farigiraf, and we're going to go for U-turn. They're going to Volt Switch. They target the Lunala, which stinks because I could have got a Hypnosis situation by protecting, switching the, by protecting going for U-turn in the Sableye, but I thought they would Volt Switch the Rillaboom because sometimes they just do. So that's unfortunate. Iron Hand's going to come out, which is not surprising because they don't want to switch in Incineroar if they have it, or Cali Ice into a Meteor Beam. So I will get a Meteor Beam off. This is going to be important damage into the Farigiraf, and hopefully we get some good damage across the board. Please hit. That's a really bad miss. Okay. We do get a big U-turn off crit at least. Wait, that wasn't a crit? Wait. Is that not Electric Seed? Okay. I'm gonna go Groudon. I want to go Groudon. Does Groudon live the low kick? No, it definitely lives the low kick. Even Helping Hand low kick. As long as there's no electric terrain, we definitely live. So I'm bringing the Groudon. They Trick Room. Precipice Blaze is just threatening way too much damage. They Foul Play, double up. Oh, I could have protected. And yeah, that's what I was worried about. I guess this isn't... No, this is pretty bad. This is pretty bad. Oh, that's really bad. Okay. We're gonna go into Sableye. I mean, that also stinks because Meteor Beam definitely would have put the Farigiraf into range of U-turn, I'm pretty sure. Maybe if it's Citrus Berry, I guess. Yeah, it wasn't Electric Seed, so yeah, I think we could just O-code. Gonna go for Gravity, I suppose, and we're gonna go for Precipice Blades. I think this might still be doable if we can get a double knockout, because Precipice Blades is still super strong here. But yeah, like, this kind of just hurts by not protecting. This could have all been avoided, of course, if I just click Protect U-turn. I was just worried they were going to Volt Switch out Rillaboom, go out into the Iron Hands, and go for Trick Room turn 1. So that stunk, but we'll see. At least they commit their Terra here, so they can't Terra the Miraidon, which is actually kind of important for later. Iron Hand's going to Terra into its Grass typing, which is fine. I mean, it's not the greatest, right? Because I get affected by low kick in the future turns, but let's see what they do here. Oh, interesting. Okay. So I get the Gravity up. I get the Precipice Blades. I get the KO on Giraffe, which is good. They low kick? Rain Punch is fine. Rain Punch is actually really good. If I survive a low kick with electric terrain, I'm feeling pretty decent about this spot, but not 100%. This could be Cali Ice coming in, which is the annoying part. But they might go Miraidon, and if they go Miraidon, I'm clicking Quash Precipice Blades 100%. This might still be a game. Who knows? If it's Ogerpon, I'll click Terra Fire. I'm kind of curious on the Iron Hands moveset, but we'll find out, I suppose. All right. Who are you bringing out? Who are you bringing out? Sableye Groudon can do this, but I need my opponent to mess up pretty heavily, I think. I do need my opponent to probably mess up pretty heavily. Because, again, we could have knocked out Farigiraf turn 1, had Lunala very round to do anything with Hypnosis or damage because we were +1. We wouldn't have had to worry about the... what's it called? The... we wouldn't have had to worry about... Yeah, I mean, there's just so much stuff, but we will go for an attempt to win this. We're going to disable the the Iron Hands, and we're going to go for Precipice Blades. I need to still go for spread damage. I can't really afford to switch here, especially into a Glacial Lance on Rillaboom, so I have to attack with my Groudon. Forced to go for this. Then next turn will be interesting because I have an Encore Trap, but the question is, who am I Encoring? Am I Encoring the Cali Ice, or am I Encoring the Iron Hands? I think it comes down to like what I expect the upcoming turns. But yeah, let's see. We do disable the Drain Punch as we do get the Precipice Blades off. Good damage. Glacial Lance, it's actually perfect. Wait, no, this is actually perfect scenario if they don't KO, if they went for Drain Punch. Oh, that's a perfect position. That's a perfect position. Okay. That's perfect. The reason that's perfect, I can encore the Iron Hands and Precipice Blades because they didn't get Trick Room up. I can go for Precipice Blades. This isn't a 50-50 because I would have had to read who switched out and encore the right slot if they went for Trick Room. But because they didn't get Trick Room up, I threatened the Cali Ice. They go for Protect, but I encore the Iron Hand. So now it's locked into the... It's now locked into the Drain Punch it can't use, which is disabled, and will be forced to struggle the next turn. So unless they want to go hard Miraidon, this isn't looking too hot for my opponent. So Precipice Blades comes out in Iron Hands. We're still doing a good amount of damage, and oh my goodness, we're coming back in this. We are coming back in this. And now we just encore to Cali Ice. And we go for Precipice Blades as well. Yes. Because we always can just spread the damage. They can't switch because Miraidon just goes down to Blades. And yeah, I'm not too worried about the struggle from Iron Hands. If they knock out my Sableye with the attack, I'm assuming I KO the Cali Ice. The only way this goes bad is if Cali Ice survives the turn and struggle KOs my Sableye here. But I think Precipice Blade should get the KO because it took 2 turns of grass. Yeah, and if they switch out, no, it's over. It's over. So they go Miraidon, but they just lose to me spamming Blades, and then I have Grassy Glide endgame. I'll also get single target Blades in the future too. Although I guess they might be stalling the Gravity, so they can actually go for the Blades miss as the win con. But yeah, we encore here. Actually, it's funny because the struggle might actually KO the Sableye now guaranteed without the crit because they have the Electric Train boost. But like, look at that damage. I KO'd a Miraidon, which is beautiful. And Iron Hand's gonna struggle. Who are you struggling into? Nice. Into Groudon is perfect because I should guarantee to win off that. And now it's single target Blades against the Cali Ice, and I will win the game. So I'm kind of curious if that Iron Hands was a Wall Charge variant because it makes sense if it's Wall Charge. Because if they didn't have low kick, the Drain Punch makes a lot of sense, and that they would keep going. And like basically I had to go for that as the win con here. But yeah, now I just go for Precipice Blades. I stay in, I think, with Sableye. I could switch out, but I think the play is just to always go for... Now I'll reveal the... Actually, I don't have to reveal the Quash. There's nothing I really want to do. I guess I'm going to go for another Gravity. I'm going to go for more Gravity. It doesn't really impact anything, because there's nothing Sableye can do. Encore is not going to affect this turn. Disable's not going to affect this turn. And I don't want to reveal my Quash, so I am able to get the knockout into the Calyx Ice Rider. If they went for Protect, I could go for Gravity or Encore. I'd probably go for Encore first and then Gravity. If I switched in Rillaboom there, I mean, I don't think it matters, right? Because the single target Precipice Blades was knocking out the Calyx Ice Rider. They would have got extra turns of Grassy Terrain, which I didn't like, plus the fact that Gravity was over. So I think Sableye Satan was always correct. But yeah, I'm able to claw out, thankfully. At turn 1, Meteor Beam miss. That's why we have Gravity on the team. Unfortunately, we didn't get to set it up turn 1 like normal, but we were able to thankfully come back because, again, I needed my opponent to go for certain mess up lines, and they worked out. Rayquaza, Miraidon, Urshifu, Incineroar, Farigiraf, Ogerpon, Cornerstone. Now, I'm kind of curious on why these two restricteds are paired specifically. Is this like some Dragon Cheer shenanigans or something crazy? I don't think so. I think the only thing that gets Dragon Cheer are the dragons themselves. Gravity is going to be really good. Miraidon's a bit tough to deal with. Okay, I like Lunala. I think I'm still forced to bring Lunala Rillaboom lead, and I think have Sableye and Groudon in the back. Now this goes really bad if they decide, hey, I'm going to leave Rayquaza Miraidon instead. Actually, no. Would it be bad? No, because I can fake out Meteor Beam. No, that wouldn't be awful. Then again, there would be mind games, I think. Just for Farigiraf creates so many mind games of, okay, if they don't lead it, is it in the back and does it switch in? So that's something I'm going to have to be very wary of. But they just lead it, which is perfect. Okay. Farigiraf Miraidon lead versus Rillaboom plus the Lunala. I wouldn't be surprised if Volt Switch comes out here. It's Electric Seed on this Farigiraf. I'm actually paying attention this time. Very big, very big. All right, I'm gonna go for, I think I'm gonna protect this time and U-turn out into Farigiraf. If they Volt Switch my Rillaboom into Incineroar, I can go Groudon, so that's fine. They Volt Switch to Lunala. Okay, perfect. As we get a U-turn off into the Farigiraf, which doesn't do nearly as much damage. Okay. And now we go out into, I think I'm gonna go, I go Sableye or do I go Groudon? I think Sableye first is correct. Yeah, I like Sableye first. As they went for foul play. Okay. So I think they're going to make the same play, but if they make the same play, I think I have a really good setup here at least. I got a few things I could do actually. So I could go for the Meteor Beam. I could go for Terra Fairy. I don't need the Terra Fire on Groudon because it's not like the Cali Ice variant. So I could go for like Hypnosis into the Lunala slot, or I could just Meteor Beam to Farigiraf. The problem with Meteor Beam Farigiraf and it doesn't KO is actually kind of annoying though. I think my best play is just to switch out Groudon because I think they always make the same play of Volt Switch Foul Play, and even if Groudon takes a Foul Play, it's not awful. I think I go for a Gravity here. And switch to Groudon because the Precipice Blades is just going to put on so much offensive pressure. But let's see. Also, if they Trick Room, they get absolutely screwed because if they go for Volt Switch Trick Room, they're in such a bad shape. We get Gravity set up. Now they don't have any switches to the Precipice Blades. They do Volt Switch what was the Lunala slot. Perfect. And Foul Play again. Perfect. We shouldn't take too much. Yeah. Oh, if only the Farigiraf wasn't here because I could disable. But we are just going to fire off our Precipice Blades. They have no switch and they are forced to Volt Switch. And we stay in with Sableye. So fortunately, we don't have Foul Play or anything that could really punish the situation. But yeah, I'm just going to go for Gravity. There really is nothing the Sableye does here. That's the only unfortunate part about running this set. There are some situations where it just doesn't do much. On the bright side, again, no Precipice Blade switch, so I'm threatening a lot of offense here. So who's coming in? Rayquaza, that's taking a Precipice Blades. I also didn't want to switch out into my Lunala in case they Foul Play my Sableye as well. I get a good Precipice Blades off. Very good damage, as you can see. And they Foul Play again. Okay. So Groudon has taken a lot of damage. Oh, that's interesting. My Groudon is faster than the Rayquaza because it got Grassy Terrain healing first. Oh, then that means I can Precipice Blades and swap out into Lunala here. Actually, no, was that the right play? I don't think it was. Because I could have had Quash for the Miraidon. I guess this is still fine because I can still switch into Rillaboom the next turn Protect. But yeah, I could have probably kept Sableye around actually. We're going to see the Terra. This might be Terra Normal Extreme Speed. Okay. I don't hate this situation though. Even if Groudon goes down, I don't even think I hate the situation. No, double normals are really annoying. Yeah, they did help me hand Extreme Speed. I should have switched in Lunala for the other slot, but that's okay. All right, here comes Extreme Speed. Groudon goes down. So we go out into Sableye, I suppose, because I am forced to go Sableye here. I'm going to Encore attempt, I guess, the Rayquaza, and I'm going to Meteor Beam the Farigiraf because I need to get rid of Farigiraf so I can actually start going for my priority moves. But yeah, I should have probably read the Helping Hand Extreme Speed. I think this is banded though, so I'm pretty sure they are forced to switch out. Oh, they say in. What are they going for? Giant's Descent? All right, we Encore, but we can't. I know we can't. Meteor Beam. We can't miss the Meteor Beam this time into the Farigiraf. Dealing with Rayquaza is actually going to be so tough because I actually don't have a way that can revenge KO it. All right, goodbye, Miraidon. Or goodbye for Rigraff. Let's see. What are you doing? Also, I don't think I can beat Incineroar anymore. They go for Dragon's Descent into my Sableye, so I guess it's okay depending on their back. But if it is Incineroar, I do think I am losing here. Unless I make a crazy play, which I guess I could. So it's not Choice Banded. Grassy Terrain disappears. Rillaboom coming in. I think whatever the fourth slot is on their team is going to come in. Yeah, it's Incineroar. That's not surprising. Okay. I think it depends on what am I expecting from my opponent? I think the play is to fake out the Rayquaza and Meteor Beam the Incineroar. But the question is, do I read Rayquaza to stay in or protect? If it stays in, I should always fake out Rayquaza and Meteor Beam the Incin. If it switches out, my best play is to fake out the Incineroar and go for Meteor Beam. Let's see. Oh, they protected. Oh, this might go really bad. I should have faked out the instant, it looks like, but sure. What kind of instant are you is also going to be an important note, because I will Meteor Beam again. Eh. I'm pretty sure we're losing this, but let's see. Oh, wait, what? They did that all to knock off my Rillaboom? Not sure about that one. I'm gonna Grassy Glide the Rayquaza because I'm forced to. I think they should probably switch out Incineroar into the Miraidon. Oh, wait, hold on. Because they did the switch order, I might actually have a chance to win. Maybe. I might actually. I get a Meteor Beam KO into the Incineroar. That picks up the knockout. I get a bit of chip into Miraidon, which actually might guarantee the Moongeist Beam KO range that I need. Okay. This might be possible. This might be possible. Rayquaza coming in. I don't know if they're doubling the Lunala or not, because I guess I haven't revealed if I have, like, I haven't revealed my moveset. I only revealed Moongeist Beam and Meteor Beam. I don't know my full set. I'm gonna Wood Hammer and Moongeist Beam, I think. Yeah. They go for Extreme Speed. Does this KO? I don't think this KOs. Yeah, it doesn't. Wait. A Dazzling Gleam. Wait, does that change much though? Does Moongeist Beam KO the... I think I can't win. Moongeist Beam. Oh. Is that bulk? I guess that makes sense. I was like, when I saw the Dazzling Gleam damage, I'm like, it doesn't look like choice. It's a Solvest Miraidon, I think. Oh, I can't win against this. Yeah. I guess like my out, it might have been possible if I went for Terra Fire, and I did debate about it. But my problem with Terra Fire, I guess like Terra wise, I don't think I needed the Terra on the Lunala, and they weren't going to electric move my Rillaboom. At least I don't think they were. So I guess like I should have always went for Terra Fire and a Rillaboom, went for Wood Hammer, hope that knocks out the Rayquaza because I am -1 attack, and then Moongeist Beam, hope that Moongeist Beam can KO the Lunala while surviving the next hit, which if it isn't, which I think Lunala can because it's bulky, because I don't think Electric Drift was taking the knockout at that range specifically, so that was actually winnable. But yeah, if it was Specs, that's what I was worried about. But then again, I guess like I'm always hoping they electric move the Miraidon slot anyway, and I need to KO into Rayquaza if I need a chance, and that's through Wood Hammer. I was never winning through the Moongeist Beam or Meteor Beam because they did have Protect. So I guess fake out. Oh wait, I didn't have a Solfest either. Would I survive? Probably not. I think I had to fake out the instant. I did not expect to protect on the Rayquaza. I thought it was Assault Vest Rayquaza, but it wasn't. All right, I think this is a rematch, right? Yeah, it's a rematch. We have Incineroar, Cali Ice, the Miraidon, Farigiraf, Ogerpon, Heartflame, and Iron Hands. Okay, yeah, this is a rematch, so I get to go Lunala lead with Rillaboom, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm still doing the same forward. There really is not much difference that I can do. Like, I guess I could lead Lilligant plus Groudon, but the Miraidon can Terra if that's the case, so, and it lived the Precipice Blade, so that's never worth it. I guess I would also have the ability to switch into Rillaboom and click Sleep Powder if I want, but I don't really think that's a mode I want to go for. I think Lilligant's for very specific scenarios where the After You or the Fast Sleep Powder makes sense, but against Miraidon it's just like really tough, so I think the Lunala is way more consistent. Let's see what they decide here, because did we confirm any items? Iron Hands was Assault Vest, right? So Incineroar can't be Assault Vest. That's huge, because that means Incineroar should always go down to Meteor Beam for my Lunala. We just don't fall for the double up into the Lunala this time. If they Volt Switch, I think they Volt Switch my Rillaboom, that's okay. If they go for Helping Hand Draco, it depends on their set, and it's a roll if it's like modest. So I think I always just go for Protect U-turn if they lead the same thing again. Also, we did know that the Miraidon was an Electric Seed, which is big. They lead Miraidon plus... Okay. And I double up the Cali Ice. If I go for the Cali Ice, I'm in a decent spot. Because they might Volt Switch, or do they Hard Switch here? Because they could Hard Switch into the... I think my best play is just to Meteor Beam to Cali Ice and U-turn. But they might switch out to Farigiraf Protect. If that happens, I do threaten Terra Fairy, Moongeist Beam, and U-turn the next turn. So I think it's my best shot no matter what. Miraidon Hard Switches. Is this Farigiraf? Yep. Okay. So I did get that play right, which is good. So I do get the U-turn off, and I do get a Moongeist, and I do get a Meteor Beam, and a Terra here. So I don't know what their Terra is. Might be Grass, maybe Water. If it's Water, I could have just Wood Hammered. So I'm kind of upset about that, but yeah, I could have Wood Hammered. I thought about it too, but all right. That's not awful, because we will get a Meteor Beam off. Okay. And we can Terra Fairy our Lunala for the game plan. Yeah, it's still good damage though into the Cali Ice. Like, they go down to Moongeist Beam in the future turn, so it's not awful. Problem is I don't have any pressure against the Farigiraf right now, but I can go Sableye. They can't Terra anymore, which is pretty big, because Iron Hands and the... Oh, they went for Glacial. Okay. I'm okay with this. I never revealed Hypnosis, right? I think... Do I want to Terra Fairy here? I mean, I don't think I'm tearing the Groudon at this point. Yeah, I think I Terra Fairy, I Hypnosis, and I Gravity. The reason I do this is because I think the Cali Ice probably protects. And Farigiraf goes for Foul Play or Trick Room. It's like the Terra Fairy covers the worst case scenario, which is Cali Ice hard switching into Miraidon and them going for Trick Room or going for Foul Play, because then it would get awkward. But I think this Hypnosis that ends up covering that. I don't think you ever go for Helping Hand here with your Farigiraf into Glacial Lance in this position, because I could just threaten the knockout into your Cali Ice with the Moongeist Beam. So we will bring out our Lunala with Terra Fairy. Oh, they just decide, hey, I'm going to attack. Okay. I mean, that's fine. Because I do land Hypnosis into the Farigiraf, which is very good. And they actually give me the free switch to Groudon, so I can go for Precipice Blade's Moongeist Beam, which is actually really nice. The only problem is I can't Terra Fire my Groudon, so this could go badly, potentially. That's so much damage, man. I mean, yeah, that's so much damage. I guess because I am not running any bulk on the Lunala, but I still think that's crazy. We go out into Groudon now, and we click Precipice Blades. I need 2 turns on the Giraffe, I think. So I'm going to Moongeist Beam the Cali Ice, and I'm just going to Precipice Blades. A Protect, which makes sense. I mean, if the Giraffe wakes up, I just lose the game anyway. So I need Groudon to get this Blades off, which is massive. I mean, I could have Moongeist Beam, but again, I felt like the Trick Room was going to be hard to maneuver in this game. I guess I should have not Terra Fairy though with Terra Fairy to my Lunala. Okay, nice. That's massive. Now I get a double KO here because they have no switch in for this. So I get to lock in the Miraidon to an unfavorable move here. Unless they go for a double Protect or they have Protect with the Farigiraf. But yeah, I do get a Precipice Blades Moongeist Beam off. Into the Cali Ice. Whew. I think I should have saved my Terra. I think I should have waited for the Terra because I do think that switching to Miraidon plus a foul play into Lunala was extremely unlikely in this scenario, but I wasn't expecting just to stay in, go for the Glacial. But I mean, it works out still because the fact that we can now go for our Precipice Blades, we can now go for our Moongeist Beam and get a double knockout. Is this Helping Hand? Okay, I was about to say there's no way they have Protect for Rig. When we saw Foul Play, we saw Trick Room, and we saw Helping Hand. I don't know if we ever saw the Psychic move. I do KO the Calyrex, so Calyrex goes down. Excellent. There is still one concern about this game, and it involves who's the last Pokemon on their side. If it's Ogerpon, this is actually still a losable game. If it's Iron Hands, this should just be a wrap. But yeah, Ogerpon Heartflame was actually so scary. And it might be the back. Yeah, here we go. Now we have a game. So it depends on if Ogerpon has a grass move or not. That's going to be a big one. Also, what does a Miraidon lock into? Because if they lock into Draco Meteor, they can't touch my Lunala. But we'll see. I am going to go Rillaboom and Protect, I think, is my best out. I know the switch is super obvious, but I'm trying to think of like all the lines, and I'm pretty sure that like even if Rillaboom goes down, I think this is the thing that gives me the most chances of winning, because it really depends on this Ogerpon moveset. Like if it's Power Whip, it's bad. If it's Horn Leech, that's fine. But I think we need recovery on the Lunala with grassy terrain. We need to shut down the Miraidon. We can't have Groudon take a Draco Meteor. I think Groudon taking a Draco Meteor is just good game. So I need Rillaboom out here on the field. So this is going to be close end game, but we'll see. I think if I kept Terra Fire though on my Groudon, this game was over, but we'll see. All right, protect the Lunala. A Dazzle Gleam. I don't think they KO Lunala with that though. There's no damage. Oh, it's Horn Leech coming out. Wait, that's so good for me. Okay. I have one turn of Groudon left, so I can go for Hypnosis, which is really nice. I think I just go for Hypnosis into the Miraidon, and I go for a Fake Out into the Ogerpon. Wow, they stay in, which I'm shocked. Or they didn't Spiky Shield, which I'm shocked. Okay, they're fast Ogerpon. That's good to know. Dazzling Gleam shouldn't KO my Miraidon. Yep. We land Hypnosis into the Miraidon slot. All right. I'm pretty sure Groudon never goes down to one Horn Leech. Maybe I'm insane for that, but I really doubt it. I will have to hit Precipice Blades though, which is not a fun endgame scenario. But we are going to Moongeist Beam to Ogerpon, and we're going to U-turn the... I think Ogerpon as well. I don't think he's Spiky Shield this time. If you Spiky Shield, you would Spiky Shield last turn. Ivy Cudgel? Wait, we Speed Tie. Right? It went before last time, right? I'm not crazy? I went for Ivy Cudgel into my Real Boom, which is fine. Actually, that's kind of bad because now this is going to be a sleep turn, and this might come down to a Speed Tie. I think this does come down to a Speed Tie. Wait, did... Oh, unless Ogerpon went for Follow Me the last turn, and that's why it went outsped. That's the only reason, because there's no way you Speed Tie Lunala, right? I think it went for Follow Me when I went for Fake Out. So unless we Speed Tie, the Miraidon is going to go for a Dazzling Gleam. It doesn't knock out Lunala. I will get a Moongeist Beam off. And I think I still click Blades anyway. I could go for High Horsepower, but I think Blades is still correct. Because I have to hit a move anyway. So it's either Blades or High Horsepower. They say Sleep. This better not be a Speed Tie. I'm just very confident that they just went for Follow Me the previous turn net. Because when I saw it move faster, I'm like, what? Because it did take the Fake Out super well. So I knew it had bulk, but it's crazy to me. Okay. And now I think Groudon just wins the game, assuming we hit one Blades. Yep. Beautiful. Okay, not the prettiest game. I mean, not the prettiest game at all, but we were still able to pull out really strong, especially the Groudon. The Groudon was absolutely huge. But yeah, like if they KO'd Miraidon with Ivy Cudgel instead of Rillaboom, I go for a U-turn, then I have Fake Out Pressure plus Precipice Blades, and then I just have to hope that... I think Groudon lives one hit from Ogerpon. Even in grassy terrain and even with Sun, like I don't think Ivy Cudgel or Hornleash finishes all my Groudon because they're weak moves. If they had Power Whip or Wood Hammer, different story, but I didn't think it was likely. All right, we have Kyogre, Chi-Yu, Miraidon, Rillaboom, Dragapult, Entity. I do not like... Why are we facing so many double terrain teams? I mean, again, Electric Train's the only one we're really concerned about. I think I'm going to go with Lunala. What stinks is we are committed to a 4 if they have the Miraidon team. That's basically what's unfortunate. I don't think Lilligant got to showcase at all. Lilligant has not got to showcase at all. I mean, I could bring it, but it's so difficult, I think. Yeah, I think it's super difficult. Also, Chi-Yu and Double Ghost is... Or Dragapult plus Chi-Yu. Ah, this is going to be such a nightmare, but let's see. We will have to brain these 4. Unless I want to go with a Groudon Lilligant mode with no gravity and maybe go for like Raging Bolt plus Lunala in the back, but they have Follow Me Redirection, which I don't like. I think this is the best out. Let's see. This is going to be a tough one. The fact that they have Miraidon and Kyogre on the same team is really tough because I have to play a Weather Ward too. So I got to make sure that I'm not taking too much damage from like the restricteds, but at least the Rillaboom's a great way to stop it. Dragapult plus Entity is an interesting one. Okay. I think my best play is to try and eliminate the Entity. If this isn't Psychic Seed, we're in a good okay, it's not Psychic Seed. Perfect. We're doubling up the Entity here with U-turn and Meteor Beam. I don't know what the Dragapult does, but they shouldn't have a move that can one-shot Lunala. Unless they're specs and go for Helping Hand Shadow Ball turn 1, but I hope that they do not. Okay, that's not as bad. But why? Why am I playing Protect Entity? No. I can't Terra Fire Groudon, which is gonna stink if they brought Chi-Yu, but they probably brought their unless they didn't bring Miraidon, but I'm gonna Moongeist Beam. Well, I have to Terra. I have to Terra. I have to Terra. Yep, I have to Terra. We're gonna Moongeist Beam U-turn. If they go for Follow Me, that's fine. But if they go for Helping Hand to greed this position, I get the KO on Dragapult at least. So let's see. I think they should always be Follow Me, but if they don't follow me, yeah, they follow me. That's fine. I guess I could have Meteor Beamed, but that's okay. Oh, wait, what? You Phantom Force a Rillaboom. I guess they do need chip damage on the Rillaboom, but that's not terrible for me. I get a U-turn off into the Entity. That's good damage. Is it worth me going into Groudon here just to click Blades? It might be. I think it is. Because I could maybe go for a double knockout. I think I always just Meteor Beam the Entity and press his Blades in case they go for the Phantom Force play again, plus the Protect. And then this way I can get +2 Lunala and then the Precipice Blades off into a single target Blades off into Dragapult. Because I don't think I think they're doing the Phantom Force play again. Nice. Okay, this is good. This is good. I get a free +2 with Lunala, which means that Moongeist Beam is gonna really threaten them in general. Okay. Okay, this is playable. As Chiyu is gonna be scary though, but it depends on the Kyogre moves. It depends on the Kyogre set as well. We go for Precipice Blades plus Meteor Beam. They go for Follow Me. Yep, perfect. That's fine. And of course, in the Lunala break Shadow Shield. Yep. We tank it. Also, it's probably banded Dragapult by the damage. I can't catch a break. Oh, are you serious? You're serious? Oh, that outcode anyway. But the thing is, my pin was perfect. If I land, I just need to hit one Meteor Beam in the Entity and one Blades. I didn't even have, or I needed to connect both Blades. Chiyu comes in. I think I lose. I'm like pretty confident I lose. I'm gonna protect the Lunala to draw off a Blades, I suppose. They're gonna go for Terra. I don't know what Terra you are. If you're Terra Fire, I'm absolutely cooked here. Fairy Terra, what? Well, they're affected by Moongeist Beam, so there might be a chance. There might be a chance. He went for Follow Me. If Heat Wave doesn't KO because it's like Scarf Chiyu, I have a chance. There's no way. Please hit both. KO the Chiyu at least. Okay. Look, Groudon. I don't know what it. This Entity, by the way, has dodged Meteor Beam and 2 Precipice Blades. Can I have that Entity? Give me that Entity. I will win worlds with that Entity. Miraidon coming in. Sure. If this is Specs Miraidon, they lose the game because they can't Electro Drift at the same time. They already used their Terra. I don't know why they Terra Fairied the Chiyu at all. But yeah. I protected the last turn. I'm gonna Hypnosis the Entity, I suppose, and go Rillaboom. Because they're just gonna follow me, and the only move I can use to touch the Entity is Hypnosis. So we get the grassy terrain up. All right, They followed me. Please tell me they Draco'd. I don't think they should fall for it, but okay, they Electric, which is fine. Is this KO? Oh, it doesn't even KO. Oh, it's Life Orb Miraidon. That actually makes things tricky. Okay, no, I'm good. Okay. I think I win. I think I win. So I'm going to go for Moongeist Beam into the Miraidon, and I'm going to go for a Wood Hammer into Inity. Yeah, Moongeist Beam the Miraidon, Wood Hammer into Inity. If the Miraidon protects, then I get a Wood Hammer KO into Inity guaranteed. They go for Daz. Oh, does this KO? No, I was about to say there's no way it KOs a Rillaboom. I had health, yeah. So Lunala goes down. We get a Wood Hammer off into Indy. I could have guaranteed this game, I think. Actually, no, I don't think I could have. Because I don't think I could get a Gravity and Quash Up at the same time against this Miraidon. So Rillaboom goes down. All right. We have Groudon, which has been not great at hitting its moves this game. It has really not. We have a move called High Horsepower, a single target ground type move that is pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. It is 95% accuracy. We are going to go for Quash, which is it. Actually, wait, hold on. I clicked Dazzle. I could Encore it. Okay, I have two plays. I could Encore them, or I could go for Quash. High Horsepower is always my play. Do I want to Encore them into Dazzling Gleam, or do I want to Quash? I will Quash, because Groudon has missed enough, right? We've missed enough moves, right? Okay. Okay. Maybe I should have just clicked Blaze for the theatrics, but if I missed a 95%, I think it would have been even funnier. So yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe how many times we missed. Also the fact I think if they did Heat Wave, I don't know if they knock out the Groudon. I have no bulk and I have no idea what their set is. But all I know is thank you for giving me the Terra and thank you for letting the Chiyu go down because you had Flamethrower instead. Because they were anticipating Wide Guard, I guess. But I didn't have Wide Guard. Alright, let's go over the games. Was expecting Worry Seed on the Whimsicott, but was able to get the Hypnosis immediately into the Kyogre. Thankfully, they took 3 turns of sleep, which was very bad for them because then I was just able to get so much damage utilizing the Precipice Blades on the Groudon. They really did not have a switch, and especially with the Terrifier on Calyx Ice Rider, which I'm very shocked that they went for. In game 2, it's actually surprising that I think Shifty was a massive threat, but they didn't bring it. Lead wise, it was pretty good. I was able to get the Gravity set up. I was able to Hypnosis the Groudon, pretty much prevent the Venusaur from moving, which just gave me turns to set up and do a ton of damage across. And then my Groudon was pretty much able to sweep the remainder of their team. In game 3, I guess I risked a bit too much on the first turn, especially Lunala going down, which I didn't expect going down. I think that also because of the fact that I do actually have maximum attack investment on the Lunala when it comes to Ivy. So I think that probably played a role in foul play KOing, which ended up being really bad. However, I did have to rely on my opponent screwing up, and they did mess up, unless it was only Drain Punch on the Iron Hands. If they had Low Kick, definitely could have had a chance here. But because they only revealed the Drain Punch, and I'm assuming that's the only move they could go for in that situation, I was able to Encore Disable and then put the Groudon into a fantastic spot because Precipice Blades was just dishing out too much damage and they had no switch-ins. In game 4, yeah, this was a bit of a weird double restricted combo because Miraidon, I do have to bring Rillaboom, which isn't great because it doesn't really do too much other than get rid of that terrain from the Miraidon. And then there's Rayquaza, which ended up being more threatening. I think the big misplay that I realized that I had was I should have switched in Lunala on the Terra Normal Extreme Speed Helping Hand, which I thought could have been an option, but I kind of forgot about like how much damage it can do. I thought Groudon could live Terra Normal Extreme Speed. The Helping Hand was something that just boosted it even further to make it not a knockout. So I mean, that was a huge mess up because I didn't have enough resources to take care of the double normal, because only real of them could really hit it because I utilized my meteor beam and I only had one of them, and I also need to hit it in Incineroar, so it's pretty bad losing my Groudon there. In game 5, a rematch, and I did catch the Rigrass switching in. I really wish I just went for the Wood Hammer though into the Cali Ice, because if I went for Wood Hammer and the Cali Ice, the game would have been set pretty much, I think. Otherwise, it was a weird position. I think the Terra Fairy was a mistake. I don't think the Miraidon switch was likely for the Cali Ice slot, so I shouldn't have went for the Terra Fairy. Even though it was technically a safe play that covered more likely positions, it did hurt having Groudon potentially vulnerable to the Glacial Lance, and if they got an early wake for Rigraff, it could have been really bad. Luckily, Groudon was able to clutch out the end game with the Precipice Blades pretty much into a nice end game. Game 6, I don't know what this game was. I was missing attacks left and right, and I was not expecting this Choice Band Dragapult set, and Protect Entity. However, luckily, Groudon came in clutch, hitting the Precipice Blades, or some of them, I guess. And it OHKO'd the Dragapult, even with the spread damage, which was something I was not expecting. But also, like, the Chi-Yu didn't get as much damage because it went for Flamethrower instead of, like, a Heat Wave. So, very thankful for that. And then, yeah, they lost 2 really important attackers. However, luckily, my Groudon was able to hit the final high horsepower to finish off the Miraidon. So, how do I feel about this team? I did have 2 versions of this team in the builder. One of them was without Sableye. I had a male Indie instead with Choice Scarlet. I was able to set up the Gravity, but I felt like it would be too hard to set it up because I'd had to run Assault Vest, Volt Switch, Raging Bolt, and setting up a position against Miraidon was still a bit difficult. So I switched to the Sableye. I do feel like it was a bit better. However, is this team super consistent? It has very inaccurate moves. It really relies on the Gravity, and some of the ways it can be very scripted, especially into Miraidon teams, as we saw. However, was it a fun team? Yeah, it was able to do a lot. The Choice Band Groudon, really fun when you're hitting your moves thanks to Gravity. Otherwise, yeah, we saw like Groudon beat Groudon. However, I did have a fun time with this team. If you want to try it out, the rental code is on the screen. It's only available for a week, so make sure you grab it while you can, because we have a lot of Regulation I teams that are going to be shared in the future, so make sure you grab them while you can. And of course, if you'd like to check out the details of the team, they'll be linked in the description down below, and subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.